Hello, today I have a unique and fun card game for you. In this game, the monarchies are corrupted, and as heroes, you must break their power by committing regicide. Oh no, not me, wait, I'm a good guy. You can play Regicide solo or with up to 4 players. It's cooperative, everyone works together, and a game usually takes about 15 minutes. I'll start with a quick overview. That'll make the rules much easier to follow. At the center of the table is the castle, a stack of enemies made up of jacks, queens, and kings. You'll fight them one at a time from the top of the pile down. Next is the tavern, the pile you'll draw from. These cards are the adventurers that you'll send into battle. On your turn, you attack by playing cards from your hand. If the enemy survives, they strike back, and you discard cards to block the damage. As you fight your way into the castle, the enemies get stronger. If you defeat them all, you win.
Hey.
All right, now let's get into it. Here's what you need to play. Of course, a deck of cards. The designers of this game, Badgers from Mars, they sent me their official deck so I could show it to you. Links in the description if you want one. But Regicide was built to work with any standard deck, as long as it has jokers. And shout out to the viewers who asked about that. You'll also need a way to track points. There's a free app, but on game night, I prefer to keep my phone in my pocket. If you feel the same way, I went all out for you guys and I made this printable score sheet. If you end up using it, I'd love to hear about it in the comments, but if you'd rather use the app, that's fine too. Most rules stay the same no matter the player count. The only difference is hand size and how jokers are used. And I'll explain those differences as we go. We'll start by building the castle. Gather all face cards, shuffle each rank separately, then stack them with kings on the bottom, queens in the middle, and jacks on the top. Flip the top jack face up. That's your first enemy. Now for the jokers. In a solo game, they start face up on the table. With 2 players, they're set aside and not used. And with 3 or 4 players, they're shuffled into the remaining cards. Since I'm showing you a 2-player game, I'll set them aside, but don't worry, we'll return to jokers once you get the core rules down. Finally, the remaining pile is your tavern. Shuffle it up. Deal 8 cards for solo, 7 each with 2 players, that's us, and 6 with 3 players, and 5 with 4. Also your hand limit for the whole game. Now for this demo, I'll keep my hand face up so you can follow along, but in a real game, players don't show or discuss their cards. That's it. Castle built, tavern shuffled, hands dealt. You're all set up.
Hey, wait, what are you doing there? Stop that.
Now let's start playing. Decide who goes first. My house rule is simple. Whoever feels like they got a good opener can volunteer to start. Every enemy has health points and attack power. Health is how much damage it can take before being defeated, and attack power is how much damage you have to block when it hits back. Here are their stats. You don't need to memorize them. They're printed on the score sheet, and the app tracks it too. To start a fight, you attack by playing a card. Each suit gives your card a special ability, but we'll ignore that for now and just keep it simple. I play an 8, which deals 8 damage to the jack. If the enemy is still standing, it retaliates. The jack hits back with 10 attack power, and to block, I discard cards one at a time until their total value is 10 or more. Those go face up into the discard pile. If you can't block the full attack, the game's over. You're still alive, even with 0 cards, as long as you block all the damage. Now, it's my teammate's turn. They play a 7 and discard cards worth 10 or more. My next turn, I play a 6 and finish the jack. The jack and everything we played goes face up into the discard pile. When you defeat a face card, it stops being an enemy. It returns as an adventurer card with an attack value matching its original attack. For example, this defeated jack becomes a 10 of spades. Later, discarded cards will cycle back into the tavern, and I'll explain that soon. Now we reveal the next enemy, and whoever landed the final blow starts the next fight, and we just continue like that. Now, if that's all there was to it, we'd never survive. Luckily, there's more. There are 4 suit powers, and they're resolved before damage is dealt. Let me show you. Diamonds are huge in this game. They're the only way to refill your hand. They represent bards, and they inspire new adventurers to join the fight. When you play a diamond, your team draws cards equal to its value, one at a time, clockwise. And if someone's already at their hand limit, they're skipped. So here's our fight. My teammate is down to 1 card, and I play a 6 of diamonds. That means 6 cards are drawn. I take my first, my teammate takes the next. I'm full, and my teammate keeps drawing until all 6 are drawn. Both of us are now in good shape. My 6 still deals damage, then the queen retaliates, and I have to block 15 damage. Oof. All right, now it's my teammate's turn, and it's time to talk about hearts. Hearts are clerics. They return injured adventurers from the discard pile to the tavern. When you play a heart, shuffle the discard pile, count out cards equal to its value, then place them face down under the tavern deck. This usually isn't as urgent as refilling your hand, but you still have to watch it. If the tavern ever runs empty, no one can draw until it's refilled. Let's jump to another fight. Whoop! Spades are paladins. They protect the party by reducing enemy damage with their shields. You lower the enemy's attack by the card's value for the rest of the fight. Here we're in mid-battle against a king with 20 attack. I play a 10 of spades. His attack drops to 10, then I deal my 10 damage, and then he strikes back for 10. Now my teammate can play any card, but plays a 6 of spades, and that further drops the attack down to 4. 6 damage is dealt, and my teammate only takes 4 in return. All right, now back to me. Now let's bring in clubs. Clubs are warriors. Their ability is to double the card's attack value. So I play the 9 of clubs. That doubles to 18 damage, enough to bring down the king. All right, so that's all the suit powers when played by players, but enemies have suits too, and their ability is to block the powers of their own suit. So if you play a 5 of diamonds against a king of diamonds, you won't draw any cards, though the card still deals its base damage. All right, if you're with me so far, you got the core game down, but now for the fun part, the special rules that turn Regicide from good to great. Sometimes you won't have enough cards to attack and still survive the enemy's hit. In that case, you can yield. Yielding means you skip playing a card, but the enemy still strikes for its full attack. It's sometimes the only way to buy some time, but you can't all yield at once. So a player may not yield if all his teammates already yielded on their last turn. All right, now let's talk about a precision attack, exact damage. Usually, defeated enemies go into the discard pile, but if you bring an enemy to exactly 0, that enemy goes straight to the top of the tavern deck face down. This is huge. It gives you a powerful card fast. All aces are called animal companions. On their own, they're weak, with a value of 1. So an ace of heart restores 1 card and deals 1 damage. Not very impressive. But animal companions can be paired with any other card to enhance it. They add +1 to the attack, and then both suits apply to the total. For example, when you play a 5 of clubs along with an ace of hearts, the attack becomes 6. Hearts return 6 cards, and then the clubs double it for 12 damage. The powers must be applied in a specific order. It's hearts, diamonds, spades, then clubs. So the good news is the tavern refills before you draw. The bad news, you apply the other powers before the damage gets doubled. All right, another special attack. You can combine cards of the same rank into a single attack, as long as the total is 10 or less. So 2 4s make 8. 3 4s would make a 12. Not allowed. When you play a combo, all suit powers apply to the combined total. So in this example, the total is 9. Draw 9 cards, reduce the enemy's attack by 9, then double the damage to 18. You might notice animal companions and combos are pretty similar. Animal companions are more flexible, but only pair with 1 card. Okay, finally, time for the jokers. I already covered the setup rules earlier, and in a 2-player game they aren't used. So here's how they work with the other player counts. In solo, they start face up on the table. Each joker is a one-time emergency reset. You can flip one, discard your hand, and draw back up to 8. And you could do this at the start of your turn or right before taking damage. And I know someone's going to ask, it even works against diamond enemies. Their immunity doesn't block it. Okay, in 3 and 4 player games, jokers are shuffled into the tavern. If you draw one, it goes into your hand and it can be played like a regular card. A joker has 0 attack, but it turns off the enemy's immunity for the rest of the fight. Playing it ends your turn immediately, no damage either way, and then you get to choose who goes next. And there's an extra rule against spades enemies. Any spades already on the table reduce the enemy's attack before you pick the next player. A little perk just for spades. To tie it all together, let's walk through a few example rounds. We're going to move fast here, but you can get the gist of how the mechanics play out. This is based on a match I just finished. It was a good one, and it came down to the wire more than once. Thank you to Badgers from Mars for sending me their deck. There's a link in the description. It's an affiliate link, so thanks for using it. And a big thanks to everyone who suggested this game. I found out about it from you guys, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. Multiplayer is my favorite way to play, but solo is great practice. So, for a smoother game night, feel free to send this video to your friend. And that's the game. You and your teammates fight your way through the castle. If you ever can't block all the damage, you're killed, and the whole team loses. But if you survive and bring down the last king, congratulations, you've committed regicide. See you next time. Maybe I'll bring you your new favorite game.